Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the former Husker himself, DeMornay Pierson-El, on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this Wednesday night?
It's going pretty good. And yourself?
Not too bad at all. And there's a few things I want to dive into Husker football-wise. And at some point, I do want to sneak in Husker basketball because that is coming closer. Before we know it, we'll be in Husker basketball season as well. And I don't know what the standard should be from a fan perspective of what we expect out of this team. Obviously, with the Rank Mass being one of the key guys who's going to be out this entire season. So we'll dive into that. But first, let's talk some Husker football here. We talked a lot about Dylan Raiola, what's been so impressive. One thing I feel like that's not getting talked about enough is that offensive line play. Dylan Raiola, through 3 games, has really barely been pressured at all. And now you could argue UTEP to Colorado to UNI, that's not the best pressure you're probably going to see. Illinois is going to be a good test for it. But with that being said, how good do you feel about this offensive line heading into Illinois? And can we expect to see more clean pockets?
I feel solid about it. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that it's anything overly to where I'm like, oh, it's the best offensive line in the nation right now, because at times second half things weren't as clean and as such and everything like that. So there's definitely things they have to improve on, things that they need to be more consistent on. But I feel pretty good that they can definitely get the job done with a lot of things. Putting together a full game of being consistent and whatnot is the goal. And I mean, I expected, them to be where they are right now, 3-0, dominating teams as such in the past. So most definitely with them playing Illinois, I definitely think it'll be a better test to kind of gauge exactly how things are and whatnot with moving forward.
Yeah, and the number that sticks out to me, just talking about the protection, through 3 games, yes, I understand it's the competition, but they did what they needed to. Only 13 of his 84 dropbacks, Dylan Raiola has been pressured. Part of that, you give a lot of credit to the offensive line. The other part, Dylan Raiola is getting the ball out of his hand in just about over 2.5 seconds, so he's making quick decisions. And against Illinois, I think that the run game is going to be a bigger part of this than we realize, because going back, I figured just Illinois, with the identity of Brett Bielema, what he did at Wisconsin, what he's trying to bring over to Illinois, stopping the run is kind of a key component. But if you actually look at that defense, that's where they might struggle the most this year on that side of the ball. They're great at producing turnovers, but they actually haven't been able to stop the run as effectively as you think. So in this game, do you think we're going to see Satterfield really try to attack them on the ground more often, and we maybe won't see the 200 plus, 250 plus game yard from Dylan Raiola?
I think it'll be a mixture thing, honestly. They know that we are probably a well-balanced team as of right now. We are effective passing the ball as well as running the ball. So if you don't stop one or try and slow down one or the other, it might get really, really bad to where both might be hitting. So I think actually this type of game early on, they're going to come and try and stop the run more so, or, beef it up. So what that meaning saying that is, I feel like there'll be a lot more one-on-one opportunities outside or on the seams or whatnot, because you're going to have extra people in the box just to make sure, things don't get out of hand. And I think that is what's been more effective with in these 3 games, that we have consistently improved on and done better at and whatnot. So I don't think you'll see too much of a fall off, but I think opportunities will definitely be there. But I do think that Illinois will try and slow up the run more than anything, and that'll create more opportunities for receivers, tight ends to get busy and open the game up.
Yeah, and as it sits right now, so Illinois, they are ranked 59th in the country. Again, this is 3 weeks in, so you got to take all the stuff with a grain of salt. These numbers are going to continue to even themselves out, but they're giving up a total of just over if you want to round up, 4.2 yards per rush, sitting 59th in the country off of 88 attempts. They've given up 369 rushing yards on the ground. If you're Illinois, if you want to play the flip side of this, if you're trying to attack that Nebraska offense, if you're putting on the headset tomorrow night, Pierson-El is the DC, what are the things you're trying to take advantage of?
Me personally, I would try and sabotage it so we do win. So, I mean, that's just what my
okay,
allegiance
not you
is.
personally. You as a Illini born and grown Illini fan.
I would make things murky for the quarterback. Through 3 games, he's looked comfortable. We've seen it a little bit in the Colorado game. We've seen it a little bit in the second half of some of these games, to where he not looking flustered, but he hasn't been, clean. It hasn't been him in control and looking dominant. He's running outside of the pocket or extending plays and everything like that. So if I'm Illinois, I'm trying to confuse, the offensive line eyes, certain stunts, or sending, blitzes more than they can handle to get him, not to panic, but to get him uncomfortable. That would be something that I would look towards as an advantage. Again, he's a freshman. I understand, who his dad is. I understand the things that he's gone up against, and he is a top rank, but he hasn't really had, any pressure. The first 3 games he's been, in control of all 3 of them, and the tension is off. So if I'm Illinois, I would say kind of turn up the heat, turn up the tension, put some pressure on him, make him uncomfortable, and see how he kind of responds to that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you might be dead right about what they try to do. So Micah Mazuka, he wasn't there for UNI. Again, you don't want to take anything from UNI, but probably going to be some stiffer competition against Illinois here as we really get into the Big Ten Conference play. Any concerns there? So right now, it's still not a lot of information on it. He was not going to be suited up, but now he is going to be suited up, but he will not start. It'll be Lutowski's going to be taking that position. Any concerns there with Micah Mazuka not being on that starting lineup?
I mean, not so much. I mean, it's things happen, it's a part of the game. So, not so much. I wouldn't say it's a concern. A slight thought of things, maybe, but I mean, the game goes on, and you have practice for a reason. So they're going to put people in a position they're going to know and have practice and be somewhat somewhat comfortable of it. So, I mean, not so much really.
Yeah, and when you look at that offensive line, the last thing you want is just for injuries to pile up the same way they did last year and years prior. It's where, again, the fact that we don't fully know, but it sounds like he's going to be able to suit up. Seems like he just needs to get his ducks in a row, and then he should be healthy, and then we continue to kind of have that consistent development. Because we talk about it all the time, but the team chemistry for that Nebraska offensive line has just been horrible in years past, and you can't say it's their fault because they just had multiple coaching switches, multiple guys going down. You have to step up and play. Not only play, but you got to play in the Big Ten, which might be one of the most brutal. You could throw in the SEC, argue that the other conference, where it's probably one of those places where even if you're a 5-star walking into that place, there's an off chance that you're going to actually be able to play and compete with some of the best. So for me, I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried in the sense that I don't fully know what the deal is. Hopefully you can get figured out. Hopefully it's not injury related or health risk. Because we have that kind of same story with Javen Wright. Hopefully he's all right as well, and he can get cleared to play here. But you look at a lot of these guys, and you just don't want that injury bug to catch up to Nebraska. Because, as we continue to watch this game, this team, 3 wins in, you don't really see a whole lot of weaknesses we have in years past. The only way this really happens is you get the turnover bug, you get the injury bug, and we stayed clean on those 2 fronts. What are you expecting from Illinois' offense now? We're not going to give the full scouting report. We'll really dive in on this tomorrow. We'll give the numbers with it. But looking about Illinois, their quarterback isn't super dynamic, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes either. They're +8 on the turnover margin as a whole, which is just dominant on that defensive side of the ball. And on the offensive side of the ball, like I said, they just don't cough it away. What are you expecting Iowa to do? Try to attack this 3-3-5? Do they double down on the run game? Or do they just take the simple check downs and take what's in front of them in passing?
Their offense, holistically, they've been, moving the ball smooth. Again, I don't think they've really been tested as well, or, with considerable opponents. So, again, with their quarterback, yes, he's looked to, make the right decisions and not put the team in bad positions or whatnot, but has he really, been pressured? Has he really been, had the heat turn up on him and he got to, make some plays and do things and whatnot? He's kind of stayed on rhythm and been, I don't want to throw the term game management or anything like that, but he's done enough to, he's done his job. He's put them in a position to be successful and not harm them. So, I think it's going to be harder for Illinois just because people might go, but he might have, last year's film to kind of go off of what Nebraska might do or whatnot. Again, we really haven't shown any blitzes or anything like that. We haven't really shown anything and still been dominant on the defensive side. So now what to attack from Illinois, that I'm not too sure on how they proceed with what our strong defense is, because, you can say it's a bend, don't break defense, but, you get one shot to score, and, that's pretty much it. They lock down things, and they've been, it's been like Alcatraz.
It really
on the
has
defensive side of things. So, good luck with that. I'm pretty sure we haven't shown a lot of things for a reason, and I'm pretty sure, we're going to test them. The offensive line is going to be tested. We got 3 dudes up front that, that's some trouble to deal with. And we'll see how, their offensive line kind of handle those things. We still haven't, shown too crazy blitzes or anything off the edge or sending pressure and whatnot. So everything's fine and dandy when things are going well and you're playing well. And this check down is easy and this and that, or, you're the better team than, your opponents or whatnot. So, it's going to be a challenge for that offense to get in rhythm, because our defense has shown and proven, regardless if you have a talented roster, you have talented NFL players or a talented, FCS school or whatnot, we've shown it doesn't matter who we're playing against, it doesn't matter what the scheme is, you're going to have an issue. So getting around that will be a test for, their offense.
Yeah, and we've seen it from Nebraska's offense. 3 quick scripted on those 3 opening games. They score a touchdown on all 3 opening drives. And in UNI's case, it took them 10 minutes. They did respond, but it took them 10 minutes to get those 3 points, and that was it. for the entire game. After that, they could not find a way to break apart that defense. And that gives me just a lot of hope about Tony White as well, that after that one drive and what feels like every game outside of Colorado, that anytime they got to make adjustments where they feel like the other team's catching on, Tony White's done a good job. I mean, they've been able to kind of shut everybody down outside of some garbage time with Colorado, where you can't call it all garbage time, but the game was pretty much decided. And that's really been a real testament of Tony White, not just this year, but last year as well. Like the second half adjustments, teams really struggle to find any chinks in that defense. And when they do find it, Tony White's quick to make an adjustment. You look at the stats, I'm not going to give my prediction yet, but the closer we get to this Illinois game, the better I do feel about Nebraska's chances. The biggest one being I was a little bit surprised when looking at the numbers, how much Illinois struggles to stop the run. So I think this is going to be another big opportunity for Dante Dowdell. But I'll tell you what, DeMarne Pierson-El, Emmett Johnson makes it really hard if you were a coach to keep him off the field. It felt like last week was Dante Dowdell's game. Ramir Johnson rips off a big run as well as soon as he gets his opportunity to really match Dante Dowdell in yards and less carries. What are your thoughts on the running back competition right now? Because those two, you feel good when neither of them are out there on the field, and that's, still leaving guys out like Gabe Irving, who's more, you could argue, a red zone threat. And then, between the two, who do you like? Or is it going to be running back by committee all year?
I told you from the jump, I was a fan of Emmett. I think his style of the way he runs the ball is a little bit different, and Dante has done an excellent job. I thought he was, explosive. He brings a different changeup, to the game. It's good to have both. They have both different styles of running. They have different styles of the way that they want to run. It's hard to kind of pull back and go back and forth between the two. Honestly, which one is better for your offense that, keeps your offense, moving the sticks and whatnot. Dante has had more reps and more opportunities to do that, and he's done a fabulous job. But the fact of the matter is, and not to say that Dante's not a bruiser, he can be, but I just feel like with Emmett, he's more of kind of the hammer and not the nail. Not to say that Dante's not, but he's the type of running back that that he can break a defense's will, because he's not going to duck any wreck. He's not going to try and maneuver things. And not to say that Dante hasn't, because he's shown that as well. But
yeah, he tried to run over Travis Hunter near that goal line in that Colorado game, and Travis Hunter just took a personal note and said, "No, you can have that one. Don't worry."
Emmett is he is I think outside of maybe catching necessarily out of the backfield, I would say would be about the only thing that he will probably do a little bit better. I think Dante does that better, and that just comes more naturally to him. But, Emmett is a downhill running back. He's not going to tiptoe behind the line or anything like that. He's going to see a hole. If you give him a crease, he'll make it. I remember, the first game, it was he had a long run, and I think if he wouldn't have looked back and just kept running, downhill, he would have scored. He did that against UNI. He broke around the edge. He didn't look or anything like that. He just ran straight. If he consistently doesn't worry about who's coming or whatnot and just stays down, he's a problem. And once he gets started, I think it's going to be an issue for people that are going to try to tackle him. He's gotten bigger since last year. He's looked a lot smoother, a lot more comfortable, and I think he's kind of pissed off and has a point to prove. So I think that's why you kind of see the numbers kind of, even with not as many carries, he's making them count, because you're not going to be able to keep him off the field. So this coaching staff is going to have a good issue, but it's also good because you can kind of rotate backs and you keep a lot of tread on both of them instead of, wearing down just one guy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic problem to have, because those guys, I can't imagine what practice looks like between, I don't want to leave the other guys out either, just because we haven't seen a lot, but when they have played, they've been pretty damn efficient as well. But it feels like Evan Johnson, Dante, clearly the front runners in it. But both those guys, every time they get in a game, they make a couple of plays where they break something out. And where I give Evan Johnson credit, same way he got that big run against UTEP, was the same way you and I. He's just really patient. He waits for that hole to kind of open, and every time he hits that hole, he always has that timing up perfectly. What it feels like, where he's always hitting that thing right when he breaks that hole, he's at 100% speed, and then it's just a race to the corner of the pylon. So if I'm the head coach, I don't know. It's probably going to be Dante, just because statistically he's leading, but it might come down as like turnovers at some point. If somebody fumbles, like they got another running back they feel really good about, and I don't think it's going to be one turnover. They're going to pull you and you're done for the season, but it's going to give the other guy a shot to really take over. And if they have a great game, that's how the position might sit until they have a bad turnover. We might see it rotate. So between the two, it's a fantastic problem to have, because I can't imagine what that does for the competition, knowing that if you're Dante Daldo, you definitely got Emmett Johnson breathing right down your neck. And if Emmett Johnson finds a way to take that spot from him as that true 1A, it's going to be the same thing, just reversed. Like we've seen what Dante can do, and he's got a little bit of, I don't know how you want to even describe it, the controller stick moves, like the stiff arms, just the quick moves to get around people. And then Emmett Johnson, what always gets me about him is just he plays the game at such a high execution level where you don't see him, scramble, have sloppy feet in the back. Like he knows where he's going, and he's patient and letting that offensive line work to that secondary layer, and he can just continue to be patient with it. And that's, credit to the offensive line too, as we talked about. Like those guys have gone, in my opinion, above and beyond my expectations already in the season. We will see if Illinois makes me take that statement back, but they get some more stiffer competition. But again, the number so far for me is 13 pressures and 84 dropbacks through 3 games for Dylan Rail. So they've kept him clean. If they keep him clean against Illinois, you feel pretty good about that, considering the run game for how strong it's been for Nebraska. And that's actually a weak spot in this Illinois defense this year. Definitely not the turnovers, though. If there's going to be a game where we start to see some bad interceptions from Dylan Raiola, you definitely maybe circle Illinois, because again, +8 on the turnover margin. Their secondary is really good at closing those gaps and confusing the quarterback. So with that being said, don't go anywhere. On the other side, good morning, Pierson-El. We're going to talk about Florida State and just talk about how bleak things are, what the spread is in their next game versus California, what the schedule looks like left for them. It looks nightmarish. At one point, you may be like, Notre Dame, there's a chance. But after they lost to Northern Illinois, Notre Dame woke up and said, that was a fluke. We're still a ranked opponent. So again, now if you're looking at Florida State schedule, that might be just another brutal game to go ahead and walk into. So we'll do that next. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about the Florida State Seminoles. What does the outlook look for those guys? Do they have any sort of chance? Which is crazy at this point. We're going to talk about going bowling, not even being in the college football 12-team playoff, but to go bowling. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling. Don't Punt Hour with Des Moines Pierson-El.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back into Dump Punt Hour. We got the former Husker on the Allo VIP line. If you guys want to join in, use the streams, use the Starter Heyman text line. All right, DeMornay, teasing on the last side. Let's just start out. Where are you at with the Florida State Seminoles? And in your opinion, what has gone so horribly wrong? Is it simply a team that was way overrated heading into it, or has something truly gone wrong to where they're just underperforming?
I'm nervous for Florida State, honestly.
I'm nervous for Norvell, certainly.
I'm nervous for that coach. And being an athlete and understanding, the media and other people saying things or whatnot. So I'm not going to bash the quarterback. I'm not going to say, oh, he's terrible, he sucks. But the kid is struggling.
Yeah, he's just over 50% completion rating right now on a very low yards per average.
And he is struggling, and I'm not so much mad at the coaches because the things that he is struggling with, like it's him. It's not that you've been in college 6 years and you're missing throws, you're throwing things into the ground, the confidence is lacking, honestly. So I understand, they graded, they watched film, they went in and got a good product because they thought, what he was doing at Oregon State, he was going to breed at least, somewhat of that. And they were going to have, complementary, football. So, I mean, it starts right there with that. So I think the identity on the offensive side, they don't know what they're good at. They don't know, what to do. They really can't run the ball. And I mean, he's not all that accurate to keep things going on or whatnot. And the wide receivers necessarily aren't making consistent plays for the quarterback to build confidence. So it's kind of the offensive side. You really don't know what you're getting. You really don't know what to expect for them. And that's kind of been, their downfall. On the other side of the defense have at times, been undisciplined. At times, missed tackles, not making tackles, broken tackles. They just haven't been consistent. They haven't, found something that they're good at or can hang their hat on. Florida State typically, hangs their hat on playing man-to-man. Our athletes are better than yours and whatnot. They usually, playing sound football. Florida State as a whole is not playing sound football at all, and it's costing them games. And that's what it comes down to. If they fix the tackling problem on the defensive side, and, you start playing consistent on that end, I think that'll be fine. If you get the quarterback to play consistent and comfortable and his confidence are better or whatnot, I think they start playing better. But overall, they're just, mad, frustrated, and pissed off and tired of hearing things. And it's just bad football on both sides.
Yeah, they're 0-3, right? You're ugly on multiple sides of the ball if you're going to get there at 0-3. They were double-digit favorites in their first two games. They were just a single-score favorite in their last game versus Memphis. Memphis doesn't care. They go in there. They beat you convincingly as well. And DJ, we'll just give everybody the stats here to figure out where he's at in years compared to years prior. So with the Seminoles, 2024, he is currently 56 for 99, which roughs out to a rough about 56% completion rating. And again, only about 6.7 yards per average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He did have a long of 67. Not great start for DJ, but it's the other part. You said they can't get a run game going either. They don't have any reliable ways to move the chains right now. And you got a quarterback who looks like he's just double thinking everything. You put him in some situations early as well. If you want to put some blame on Norvell, the head coach, there was a situation in that Boston College game. Because I will say this, after the Boston College game loss, that's when it felt like the entire train came off the trail there. Because you could somewhat redeem yourself after the first butt whooping. You can say it's an upset, but we saw what Notre Dame did. They turned around and they said, that's not us. The Boston College game was like, okay, now you're 0-2 and you weren't able to stop the run to save your life. Your quarterback looks unsure. You put him in a 4th down situation where he has to make a play. So he forces it. It becomes just essentially a horrible punt because you go for it on 4th down anyways. He makes the interception. You guarantee Boston College field goal range as long as they don't go backwards 30 yards. It's just, but there's so many things where it feels like they're putting a ton of pressure on the shoulders because they can't get the run game going. And you're putting them in these 4th down situations. Now, Memphis, they learned from that. But there's no identity. Like, I'm amazed at their inability to run the ball and their receivers' inability to get open. I mean, we can keep poking fun at DJ, but part of the reason why it's 56% completion rating is those windows aren't very big. I mean, he's got to make that read, and he's got to be quick with it because those receivers, shockingly, haven't been able to stay open very long for him. So there's multiple facets to this entire thing. And the defense not being able to stop the run at all is what surprises me the most. You know, when you have a defense that's not going to be able to bail you out, when you have Boston College taking the 6-7 minute drives right out of the gate from you, I mean, that can be demoralizing. What's the most demoralizing thing an offense can do to a defense? Because in my mind, it's not stopping the run when you know it's coming at you.
Impose your will. Just be a dominant force. That Boston College game. Boston College, that's a decent team. They hang their hat on, being physical, aggressive, and grinding things out. The most demoralizing thing offense can do is, regardless of whatever, that they want to do, they're getting it. It's going to the right. What we're going to do, and you still can't stop it. It's a situation where this quarterback has to throw it to this receiver or whatnot. The tendencies, the down, what's coming, the formation, the motion, and you still can't stop it, and you're right there. That's the most, back-breaking thing that an offense can do. And, Florida State is doing the complete opposite. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball, the quarterback got to make a play. It's all going back. If you look back at last year at that team, Travis, that they had back there at quarterback, he, regardless of the situation, he can make something out of nothing. He was comfortable in that realm. He was comfortable of doing that. I'm not so sure that's DJ's game.
Definitely not.
That he's not comfortable at. You gotta be the difference maker to make things happen or to make things go or whatnot, or to give people a chance. And I think that's where you kind of see them taking a step back and they're them not being really good. It's just he's just not that guy, and for a lack of other words, honestly.
Yeah, and I'll say this much: I think DJ would be a fine quarterback somewhere else. I just think they picked the wrong guy for what they're trying to do.
Exactly. Agreed.
So much of this, because we can say it firsthand at Nebraska, I could say it through the many years of watching Chicago Bears. It's you get these quarterbacks, if you don't know what the plan is, or you put them in a plan that does not fit them at all, you can really look at that with the Justin Fields experiment, the offensive play calling around him. They had said, hey, we know you struggle throwing the ball, but that's what we're really going to have you dial in on, just being a pure pocket pro NFL QB when your entire you can make the argument, yes, he did some of that at Ohio State, but his wide receivers at Ohio State had so much separation that he just had to launch it deep, and his receivers can be able to catch up to it. NFL, it's a whole different ball game. You need to have those deep balls. Those got to be on a wire when you're throwing those. So, we see it over and over again. I don't know what team would fit DJ at this point because the psyche might be so shot, but it is surprising.
It would have to be a team that has an established run game. He is a play action, pro style type of quarterback. He is not one of those spread it out. Let me pick you apart. That's not his game. He's gonna have to have a dominant run game to affect play action, and then let him kind of get in his stride for him to be comfortable. And that's just not what Florida State is right now. They're not a pro-style type of offense. They are spread it out. Our athletes are better than you. We need your quarterback to make plays and make it right and get us over the hump, get it to the guys that we need to make plays and go on like that. I mean, that's what they were doing with Travis last year. They had two outside guys who are really, really good. The running back game was, very dominant. That's just kind of their bread and butter, and that's just not DJ's style. He doesn't fit that offensive scheme, honestly.
Well, I'll ask you this, and this will really tell us how much faith we'd have in the entire argument we're having. So we got Luke Altmaier coming up for Illinois. You talk about a play-action team. That's Illinois to a T. Would you be more nervous to face this Illinois team if they had DJ or if they still had Luke Altmaier? Which one's more dangerous? Assuming that they had the preseason run with him. He's not showing up there today. Assuming that this was in the works in the preseason, they got him on camp.
If DJ went to Illinois versus like Florida State type thing.
Yeah. Do you think we'd be seeing like?
I would. It would be of some concerning. It just depends on how the running back game would be. Again, I mean, the guy that they got in there, he doesn't make mistakes.
He's perfect for him.
So you know what I mean. So it's regardless of whoever you get in there. If the guy gets in there and is a problem and it's causing, we've seen it. I mean, last year we knew we had guys on the outside. We knew we had running back. Our offensive line, may have been bad or whatnot, but I mean, we had bad QB play that put the offense in bad position. We couldn't throw the ball, so what? People knew we were running the ball.
Yep.
A year later, you plug in a guy that's not going to be a problem or put you in terrible positions. We're 3-0, and we look dominant. So it just depends on what DJ are you going to get. Are you going to get the DJ from Clemson, or are you going to get the DJ from Oregon State? So it just depends on which one would have showed up in these first couple of games, and that would have made the difference.
Yeah, I think you'd get the DJ from Clemson. If he was on, you could really name a ton of these Big Ten teams, and I just like him better with any of those heavy play action style roles because it's just not working for the Florida State Seminoles. And we could go through the rest of their schedule, but I want to go on this quick tangent here because we mentioned this team, and it kind of pisses me off. I don't know how they got kicked off the list, but Boston College, after being in the AP top 25, no one's been talking about it, but they lose to Missouri, but they only lose to number 7 Missouri by 6 points. And they get kicked out of the AP top 25. I get it's a loss for them, but I mean, they pushed Missouri to the brink, and I thought it was an impressive game for Boston College. I thought they might even, stay stagnant or go up a spot, not being kicked out of the list. I get there towards the end there, but thoughts on Boston College getting showed the door after pushing Missouri to the brink?
I mean, some of those teams that are, 25 down, 24 and down are undefeated. So it's just more so that some other collegiate teams had a better showing that week, which honestly, them playing Mizzou and only losing by 6 is very, very impressive. I would at least thought, they would have stayed at 25. But
that's a good showing to me. That's a great showing.
Boston College is going to be a tough team to kind of match up against for anybody. They're gonna cause people to have problems. So the more they stack wins and whatnot, they'll definitely be back up in the power rankings sooner than later. Honestly, as long as they continue to dominate as they have been.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have more chances. Like we mentioned it, they beat obviously Florida State. That was the big one to kick off the year, and then they beat Duquesne 56-0. And they push Missouri. Like, I get it's not a win, but if I'm looking at some of those other schools that crept up, like Texas A&M, I'm like, you did what you're supposed to do. Boston College.
Against a bad Florida, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Boston College exceeded expectations for me. Like, it's Missouri. I have a lot of high respect for Missouri, and based on the AP poll, so do all the voters. So those are times, it's early in the season. I get it, how these things can kind of shift and change. But in my mind, there's no question in my mind that they still belong in that top 25. I don't care if there's teams that maintain their undefeated record. Those guys sticking with Missouri was one of the best games of the weekend, and I don't think they deserve to be knocked for it. If anything, stagnant, just for proving that you do belong with those ranked teams because you just took one of the best top 10 ones to the absolute brink. All right, we're going to throw to our final break here. On the other side, we had a fun conversation about this with another big Raiders fan. We had Barry Thompson on the hour before you. And he was so hesitant for that Mount Rushmore if Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, for obvious reasons, if he should be on that Mount Rushmore already. So, good morning, Pierson-El. Before we go to break, that's the question I'll ask you. I'll let you think about it. Does Patrick Mahomes belong on the Mount Rushmore of greatest QBs already, or is it way too early? Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about that to wrap things up on the Dope Punt Hour.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's. 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. We're going to wrap things up here. Final segment. Does Patrick Mahomes belong on the Mount Rushmore of greatest QBs of all time already? It'd be fun. Let's ask the former Raider division rival of the Kansas City Chiefs. Good morning, Pierson-El. I know it's early. We've talked about Mahomes before and the success he's had. Is he already on that Mount Rushmore when it comes to the greatest quarterbacks who've played in the NFL?
I think when it's all said and done, he will be on there. But as of right now, you're talking about some of the other guys that will be on that list. They're done playing. He's not done playing. So I don't think it's a fair assessment to say that, he's on the list and he will be the only active guy. Now, when it's all said and done, I think he will be on there. But as of right now, I'm going to say no.
Okay, his career ends tomorrow.
Still a discussion, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, you have a very similar answer.
I mean, you got. I mean, he has what, 3 championships?
Yep.
Eli Manning got 3 championships. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. There's some quarterbacks out there that have multiple Super Bowl winning, championships. So it would be a discussion if his career would end tomorrow. So, like I said, he wins, 2 more championships or whatnot. It's a bona fide yes. But as of right now, he's still playing. I don't think, that's a fair assessment to put that up there when everybody else that will be on that list will be done playing.
Yeah. So real quick, I mean, it comes down to the 4th spot for me because you're going to be looking at Tom Brady. You're going to be looking at Joe Montana, and then you're probably going to take Manning at one of those. And then that 4th spot.
I mean, honestly, you can. Are you just going off of Super Bowl wins, or are you going off of stats? Because I mean, that 3rd spot right now, to me, it would be between Peyton and Drew Brees. That's just me.
Stats are tough, especially because if you go by stats, you throw all of the old quarterbacks out the window. To me, the most important job for a quarterback is winning, and to me, that does come down to Super Bowls. Like, can you do enough? Because Tom Brady, I mean, we don't talk about it enough, but I mean, he got bailed out by some real luck, by some great defensive teams through his tenure. Peyton Manning, the same deal. So if you want to make an argument there, you could definitely say the defense was a bigger part of at least one of those Super Bowls for Tom Brady and Manning. So when you go with the stats purely by the numbers, it's just a tough thing to rank because that's taking all of the old quarterbacks because it's just a different game. You're not going to see a ton of yardage through the air for them. Maybe see more through the run, but you're really just looking at the turnover ratio and how many wins do they have. And when you look at the new quarterbacks, then you do look at Drew Brees. You say, hold on, look at this guy's numbers. They're insane. And he's definitely had some deep runs, so he belongs in that argument. When it comes-
I think you have to necessarily look. You can look at Super Bowl wins, but you can't only just justify that as that gets you on the list.
You'd have to look at that team throughout the season and how much was it the quarterback closing out games and how much of it was the players around them, the defense in particular, because the defense, as we've seen through Tom Brady's career, he was a big part of making sure they got Super Bowls, but the defense always did a good job covering up any mistakes they might have had in the postseason play to give him another chance on a late drive, 2-minute drill, whatever it may be. And you definitely saw that in Manning's career. Patrick Mahomes is a little bit different. He hasn't, had that game where the defense, you could say, has totally won it for him. He's definitely had some great defensive performances, but I'm still there. I think he needs one more championship, and then he probably makes the list for me. 2 more, then he's definitely locked in. There's no question about it. But if he gets 1 more, I have a hard time keeping him out of 4. You can argue with me. You can bring me into some of the names of those older quarterbacks, 70s, 80s, 90s, pre-Super Bowl era even. It just gets really tough when you're trying to talk about numbers there. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, so you got 2 more championships, and then you think he's a lock.
I would say so. As of right now, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Brees. I'm a huge fan of Manning. It's just hard to not look at what they've done holistically. And I feel like it wouldn't be fair to say, for Patrick to answer that question right now, because like I said, their careers are done, his aren't. But 1, debatable. 2 more, I think he will be a locked in for sure.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and find out. As DP said on that first hour, there's still time to spoil in that career. Who knows if Andy Reid decides to hang it up. He just wants to kick back, doesn't want to coach football anymore. I don't know how confident I am in the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid's a massive part of that. The head coach always has been with a lot of those teams that we talk about. So that's going to wrap it up for us, though. The Raiders says 2 more championships, then you got a real conversation. So that's going to wrap it up for this show. Up next, we got a replay. Kendall Lehner with Jamal Banks, the Husker wide receiver. Keep it rolling on Take Weeknights. Good morning. Appreciate the time. We'll do it again tomorrow.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven